Hi guys. Okay, so as you can see, our short played out beautifully over the weekend, and the expectation was that we are going to see the 70Ks. Now, this only happened Sunday afternoon, quite late for most, or early in the morning for the others. Depends on where you are in the country, in the world. But here we are at the moment. We're sitting with about $75,000 a BTC. Price has been trending bearish for forever. Now, the important thing that I kind of just want to plant with you guys before we dive into more technical analysis, and this is the magic of stuff like this. This guy is probably now the biggest reason why the market is dropping. The stock markets are falling. I mean, we look at the Dow Jones, we have price coming back down 38. If you look at the S&P 500, things are coming down. NASDAQ is dropping like crazy. If we scroll down a little bit further, from a market cap point of view, Bitcoin got slaughtered. From BTC dominance, BTC dominance is pushing up. The alts are getting slaughtered. If you look at the total market cap, you can see it's coming down quite aggressively, about $1 trillion out of the total crypto market cap now. And most of that $1 trillion is on the alts side because it's total 2 that's taking a punishment. If we look at Ethereum to BTC pairing, I mean, this is just horrendous. It's just dropping even further. You start looking at even stocks, start identifying stocks by themselves. Tesla, I mean, look at Tesla's coming down like crazy. I mean, we've been keeping an eye on this. Your Netflix is retracing. Everything is taking a pounding. I mean, and I want to be optimistic at the moment. And I want to say why. Okay. The last time we had the VIX volatility index, okay, pushing insane highs, we had the COVID-19 March 2020 Black Swan event, and they're already talking about Black Monday and. So think of it like this. Trump is the excuse. It's for everybody that basically wanted to follow somebody that they agreed with. Not wanted to be right, because if it was by that definition, people would have acted differently. People want agreeable information. That's what they do. So it's agreeable that it's easy to blame Trump and tell him this is the idiot that created all the panic. It didn't do nothing. News is a lubrication, guys. This shit's been bearish since February this year. Yet again, on the stock markets, S&P, February this year, it's been bearish. We've been waiting for it to come back to these levels since then, So news is the lubrication that just drives the momentum at the moment. And yes, people are fearful. The news is bad at the moment. And this is now where I want to try and lay a foundation with everybody that you need to start thinking about what is big money going to be doing right now if the news is bad. Isn't this maybe the right time to buy? Because just like this was the right time to sell, hindsight 2020 always, people didn't want to sell at $99,000 a BTC. I had guys argue with me profusely. It's going to go to 200. Oh, what's wrong with you? And now we're at 75, and now they're phoning me up and saying, hey, listen, is there something I can do? And that's it. So clearly the trend was bearish at that stage. Clearly the trend is still bearish. But clearly, there's a shift. Trend is changing, and that's what I want to share with you guys. So, Bitcoin sell-off almost complete. That's the idea for today's style, because I feel like it's almost complete, and this is what we need to expect for the next week. Okay. Now, if you're new to the channel, you haven't subscribed yet or haven't seen anything, do me a solid, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. And for those OGs, there's about 50 of them joining in live now. I know it's sucky to look at the market when it's dumping like this. Give me a 777. Let's just wake everybody up. I just want wake everybody up. Let's just get a 777 because I'm feeling lucky, and you should do as well, because it's going to be a good week. And if you're in the short making some money, give me a 777 as well while I'm at it. Okay. Dean, are you in the short? Liam, are you in the short? Edu, in the short. Are you making some easy money? Because this is the easiest setups I can find for you guys, basically. Look at it. It's just like free money. Come on. All right. And then now let's get into this. Let's get into the bigger things now. Okay. So Dean is making money on the short. And I'm going to delete the old lines and the old stuff. We've got the setups cleanly backed. Okay. Now, weekly time frame, I want to point out the following real quick. If we look at Bitcoin on a weekly time frame, what are we doing now? The RSI is on the bearish side. Remember what I said with an RSI. This area is the zone where things are trending bearish. This is the zone where things are trending bullish. Okay. When we move in this area, we look for divergence. When we move in that area, we look for divergence. But there's an exception to this. Every now and then, the market needs these corrections. And it's in these areas where we create hidden bullish divergence. Okay. And you can look at where the RSI was there. You can look at where the price is there. So RSI is quite high, quite low. Now, I know this is Bybit. Bybit's still young, but the data is good and solid on the RSI. Lower low on the RSI, higher low on price, hidden bullish divergence. People were thinking shit's going to never end. And this is what the market does. It traps you in this environment, and then you didn't sell the top. You didn't get out when I kind of explained that the risk is, look, there's no guarantees. The risk is to the downside, to the upside, no longer to the downside. And when we look at this, so they didn't get out, so the market will give you this hidden bullish divergence. And what it will do is it will rally up again. And that will cement in the belief that all I need to do is just hodl and I'll be okay. So when it goes back down again and starts really hurting people long term, you're not talking for years at end where it feels like this. Okay, those guys are so underwater by then. There's no help. There's no help. Okay, so where we are, I saw analysis. I saw stuff where people were saying, well, maybe from an emotional market cycle point, we maybe hit optimism or disbelief or whatever the case might be. Guys, I'm looking at this and saying we're in complacency, in the sense. This is the first move of complacency. Maybe we're going to push a little bit higher. It doesn't need to look exactly like this picture. The alts are down here in depression. And remember, what do we need for an alt season? A complacent Bitcoin, because if it steals everybody's thunder, the alts won't perform. Okay. So where we at? Complacency. This was Bitcoin's complacency. The alts did amazing stuff in this little area here. So Bitcoin goes to maybe 120, in my opinion, from where we're at now. The alts finally have their moment in the sun where they can start, giving up a little bit of gains. Maybe they don't go as high as everybody hoped and expected, but that's the general sentiment on the larger time frame for me. Now, let's maybe stay on BTC. Then take this to the daily time frame. And first time now, this is now the first time on the daily that we have some real bullish signal. So the last time we had it was there. We had Bitcoin do the following. Went up, made a lower low. Statistically, that's the area where the divergence should occur. The divergence occurred in that range. Market made a lower low. RSI made a higher low. Strong bullish divergence, but no higher high. And where we're at now is that the RSI is doing just that again. So the daily needs to now use this pivot and that to create another strong bullish divergence. Now, the catch is, and this is where trading can sometimes be frustrating. It can, let's mark it out real quick, just where we're in the area. The risk is, where we're at now, the RSI is almost double bottoming. But if this daily ends up closing like a doji or a high wick candle, something like that. I'm going to make the screen a little bit bigger so you can see a little bit better. Okay. Ends up closing like that. I mean, at that stage, shit that look horrible. There, it looks completely different. Then the divergence would almost be like a no-brainer. I should have acted. So now is the right time, where we're at right now, to start thinking about going long. Okay. Take it now from the guy that's been screaming, going short now for forever, that it is the right time. So let's clean up all this daily lines. And let's just do this. This is going to probably be quicker if I just do it like this. Clean all of this up. Go to the 4-hour time frame. Bring back the RSI. And do the exact same thing. I just want to clean up all the notes I just shared with you guys. Now you need to wait for this 4-hour to do what in Wyckoff terms is an automatic reaction. Low volume, little bit of a jump up because the market's exhausted. There's no more There's no more people to liquidate. So then it's all the short traders that are late onto the party. They're going to get hurt now. So it's going to move back up. Secondary test. We're looking for secondary tests now. Something like this. More so that little wick there. Okay. Secondary test. Then you go long. Boom. For minimum first target $80,000. 80 was where resistance was. We shorted 84 with the argument that 80 is where support is. Sorry, let me just correct the grammar. And if we get to resistance, what is the market going to do? It's going to go and test that resistance. So you want to go long with the argument is it's going to push up to that area. So yet again, it becomes so transparently, blatantly what needs to be done. It's just so damn hard sometimes because you need to agree with me in order to act on this. And sadly, a lot of the guys, they didn't agree with any of the setups. It's there. The evidence is there. They didn't agree with any of it. And now they're not sitting with any free cash to utilize on any of the big moves. Okay. So people winning alive. Quiet day. Yeah. When the market dumps, people leave. They just forget. They give up. Okay. So for those that are here, you guys that are watching now, diehard watchers, kudos on you. You're getting in on the dip as well. Let's have a look at the analysis real quick. I just want to take away the setup regarding the trend and the momentum here. And then I'm going to end off the stream. There's not much to say any more than this. At the point of this range, the market will eventually have a little bit of a reaction. And that yet again supports the theory that potentially we're going to go back to, say, $80,000 and then start building a range. We need to build a range. The nice thing, though, is if you measure the size of the range, and this is now measured move, you know, the way it works. If you measure the size of the range that Bitcoin had, and you measure the size of the previous range, you cannot do this. Very simple because it's already printed. And we measure the size of this range. The smaller the range becomes, the weaker the trend becomes. That's another way, easy way to look at this. Don't believe me? Let's go on to the previous bear market. Okay. Big range, like crazy ranges. Then the ranges start getting smaller, 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 till eventually, who's to say how many times it needs to shrink? But this all just tells you bearish momentum. And the reason we went long here is because this was the first time on the weekly time frame. This is now 4-hour. Weekly time frame, we had strong bearish divergence. Okay. We had it there as well, but no higher high. We had it there, got the higher high, and there was the best buy we had for the whole of that run. Okay. So I'm saying be patient. You need to now start acting long, thinking long again. Although the trend is bearish, if you're trading, you're scalping short, that's all you're doing. Okay. But larger time frame, you need to start thinking bullish. Okay. Now I saw there was a request for DOT and stuff like that. Liam, you know where to find me. I'm in the Discord, my friend. We can do all those things there, and I'll be trading live. So maybe what I need to do is just to give everybody a little bit of an advantage is I'll be in the public trade in the Discord as well later on today for a little bit. So I'm going to be back into the private trade room, and we're going to be trading there. Market tactics this morning, already did that video, although everybody knows what the big game plan would be for the trades. And it's very simple, guys. If you want to have access to some of my tools and some of my tricks, and you want to be able to participate in the public trade chat, you need to open a Blofin account. Very simple, easy. Open your Blofin account. Thanks, Peter, bringing it up. Make sure you've got the Crypto EMC link in there. And back the channel that backs you. Simple as that, okay? And if you want to be more involved and you really want to level up your game, your HODL game and everything else, you need to do is you need to go to the Discord and join the private group. It's a once-off, guys. It's a once-off. I want the serious guys. The guys that's in the group, they're serious. They're not. These guys are serious. Okay, simple as that. So come and join them, and let's turn the boat around. Let's turn the tide. If you feel like it's just you're always on the wrong side, late to getting out, late to getting in, turn it around. Come on. It's in your hands. Okay. Thanks so much for the compliment, my friend. Bronwyn, you have a lovely day. Dean, enjoy your gains. But remember now, no one condition stays on. Edu, sorry, my friend. And that's it. That's everything from me for today, guys. So in short, stop blaming the news. News is a lubricant. That's all that it is. Okay. The market has been bearish for forever, since the 4-hour time frame, since February this year, stock markets, everything like that. Okay. And the big light is that the DXY in this stage, the VIX is at highs, which tells you a lot of big players are now shaken out. It's a good time to start thinking about taking the other side of the market. And the DXY is telling us that it's bouncing on demand. Okay. Now, there was an argument that was made that the DXY is selling, everything's selling, so new money is not even looking at the dollar, it's looking elsewhere. I'm not going to buy that for now, because in the end of the day, everything is still trading in the dollar. The reality is there's big wicks there. This is monthly. We can hit up to the weekly time frame, and we could probably bring in the RSI and start debating what needs to happen here. But big wicks like this DXY is going to start moving back up to resistance, a little bit of a short-term relief, and that's so. Yeah, there you have it. It's going to be an interesting week, guys. You have a lovely day. Cheers.